I tell my clients every day, Vinnie. I tell them every day. They go, "How do I know you're not lying to me?" I say, "Well, here's how you know. Call me in a week, tomorrow, next month, next year, and I'll tell you the same thing. Because if I'm lying to you, I can't remember. I talk to too many people. I can't remember what I told you. So I'm not going to lie to you because I can't remember what lie I told."
And welcome back to another episode of True Stories from a Real Private Eye. I'm your host, Vinnie Coppola. With me, as always, is Lynn Lambdin, a real private investigator right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here and sticking with us all throughout the year. We are so appreciative of you. And I know I can speak for Lynn when I say we're very thankful that you're with us. And as long as you're here, we're going to keep doing this, and we appreciate it very much.
Very, very appreciative. Enjoy it a lot, Vinny. Enjoy it a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're glad you're here because we really have a good time doing this. And, as long as you guys are here, we're going to keep doing it. So thank you very, very, very much.
That's right. That's right. Well, Vinny, I thought since in the spirit of the new year, I'll tell you a very quick story of being recognized for the job I do.
Okay.
As you know, I moonlighted at the Punchline for many years.
That's where I met you.
That's where we met. For
those of you who do not know or new to the podcast, the Punchline is a comedy club in Atlanta, probably one of the best comedy clubs in the Southeast. At the time, known all across the United States as Yankee Stadium of comedy clubs. Little backstory for you. All right.
Probably the best comedy club in America.
Yeah.
So, and just so you know, I started working there when I was 18 years old, just out of high school, just moved to Atlanta, one of the very first jobs I had. And I met Vinnie there very shortly after I started. Well, a few years after I started working there, I met Vinnie. So I've known Vinnie a very long time. But anyway, I started working there to support myself. Then I became a PI, and I continued to work there to support myself because I wasn't making enough money as a PI to support myself. And then after I started making enough money to support myself, I continued to work there several nights a week because it was such a fun job.
Yeah.
That I hated to let it go, and I kept meeting people like Vinnie. So,
yeah.
But it was New Year's Eve, and we always do a big bash on New Year's. And New Year's Eve was just a very fast pace. I mean, it was just as fast as you could go and as hard as you could go until 12:01.
Yeah.
And at 12:01, it was like the world had been lifted off your shoulders. Well, I'm sorry. At 12 o'clock, things slowed down.
Right.
Because when the ball dropped, everything just kind of relaxed. The champagne was poured. And basically, there were no longer rushing to get everything done. You just kind of kept up.
Yeah.
So it was like 12. I mean, the ball had dropped, and we were kind of taking a deep breath. And all of a sudden, I'm behind the bar, and if you've never been to the Punchline, it was a unique setup. The bar was there, and I was behind the bar, and everybody was in front of the bar, and I was kind of topping off the champagne because we gave free champagne out after the ball dropped. We gave out free champagne, and I was kind of topping off the glasses at the bar because I was bartending, and this idiot on the other side of the bar was drunk. And he recognized me because I had served him with the lawsuit just about 3 days before.
Oh my God!
So he started cussing.
I got served by a bartender.
Well, that wasn't the words he used, but
I know. Yeah.
But it was close.
Right. Yeah.
Those words were in there, but he had a few choice words he put in front of it.
I'm sure of it. Yeah.
So if you remember Doug
Colway,
yeah, he kind of said, "Lynn, get in the back."
Yeah.
So He said, I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
So I kind of stepped out of the way and got in the back, and they Doug and him went back and forth for a few minutes and tried to reason with the guy. Doug was really laid back, kind of like, come on, guy, it's New Year's, you're having a good time. Just go on. What happened 3 or 4 days ago happened 3 or 4 days ago. Let it go. And this guy would not let it go. And this was the only time I've ever seen the punchline throw somebody out on New Year's.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Because he wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Because
of all people, Doug and you. Yeah.
He wanted to fight because I'd served him 2 or 3 days before.
Right.
With a lawsuit.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have a good time. Couldn't let it go. And I'm trying to say, look, dude, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me. No, it was you. I remember you. I'll never forget you. You SOB.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. But so he just couldn't let it go. Couldn't let it have a good time. So
just couldn't let it go. Couldn't let it go. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that story real quick. I just thought it was a funny story. Just nothing came of it. They threw the guy out, and him and his girlfriend or wife or whoever it was he was with, and they left. And it was expensive to get in on New Year's, especially for the 12 o'clock show.
Oh yeah,
they I don't remember what they charged, but it was a couple $100.
Oh yeah, because they give out free champagne and
a band and
the comics. I mean, we always did very well on New Year's Eve. That was like a status symbol. Oh yeah, I got a booking I'm booked on New Year's Eve because it was like more than double what you normally get paid.
Yeah, and you got like a prime rib dinner or a fish dinner. I mean, you got served. I mean,
yeah,
it was you got. The world.
Clubs, they did it up right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But anyway, I thought tonight, Vinnie, we would talk about the injustice in court.
Okay.
We do not have a perfect justice system.
Once again, the theme of this podcast is definitely corruption, injustice, and malfeasance.
Yeah, well, I have been in court many times
with people in power, law, Congress, judges.
Well, I've been in court many times where that I have known that witnesses have lied, and we've talked about several times where witnesses have lied, and I think that when witnesses lie and they're caught lying, I think that their punishment should be very harsh.
I agree.
And that is never taken serious. I've never, ever seen a judge or anyone for that matter take a liar on the stand serious. I've seen them threaten to take them serious, but I've never seen them take serious.
Yeah.
But this past week, I've had a little bit of time. I don't typically watch much TV or anything, but when I do, I typically watch true crimes or documentaries or something. And this past week, I watched 2 true crime stories. One was called The Staircase Murders, or The Staircase Murder, where a gentleman out of, I think, North Carolina was accused of killing his wife. And the one thing that stood out to me was the guy who did the blood splatter expert. He lied on the stand, but he continued to do testing until he got 1 or 2 droplets of blood splatter where he wanted it. And then he went on the stand. He lied about his credentials. He lied about everything until he got a conviction.
So he was lying to convict this guy. He wasn't lying to protect this guy.
No, he lied to convict this guy.
Yeah, that's evil.
Well, not only that, but the guy's defense team didn't catch it. An Innocence Project actually discovered that he lied and got another guy off who had life in prison and got this guy off. And then they used his evidence to show that he lied. But this guy got like, I don't know, 15 or 20 cases that he had testified in overturned. And
What do you think? Do you think he was getting like some, under the table money or something? Like, why was he doing this? Why?
because, yeah, the prosecutor and the blood splatter team worked together, and the DA's office reviewed the blood splatter team, and that's how he got his raises and everything, and his bonuses and everything, which is a conflict of interest.
Yeah. And do you think the prosecutors were in on this?
Sure, they were.
See,
Because
then in addition to the blood spatter expert quote, air quotes, in addition to the blood spatter expert getting in trouble for these lies, I think the prosecutors should get in equal as much trouble, especially if they're in on it.
well, the prosecutor, this was up in North Carolina, and the prosecutor went on. He was appointed judge, and then the gentleman who was elected in his position screwed up the Duke lacrosse case and was removed as prosecutor, which he should have done prison time over the Duke lacrosse case, because that was all corruption in that case.
Yeah.
As we all learned later. And then he went back and become the prosecutor and was highly decorated as a prosecutor after all of this.
Yeah.
And the blood splatter expert who was doctoring evidence was ruled in court by the judge on several cases as lying in court and perjuring himself in court, was terminated from his job, never brought up on any criminal charges, hired in Texas as doing the same job. So somebody in Texas hired this guy to do the same job
without doing a background check or anything.
Well, I don't know if they've done a background check or not. I couldn't find it if they'd done a background check or not. Research.
They couldn't have, because then they would have found out that he lied and he had to leave the state.
But they did a TV show on it. Actually, there's like 5 TV shows on it. So he still works out in Texas. As far as my research shows, he still works in Texas.
Unbelievable.
And they haven't fired him over it. Why isn't this guy in prison?
I have no idea. That's nuts.
One guy did, I think, 10 years in prison. Another guy did 17 years in prison. Depriving someone of 17 years of their life, is that not enough for him to go to prison?
I think so.
I don't understand how he wasn't brought up on charges.
Or how he sleeps at night. How can he sleep at night?
How can he sleep at night?
Yeah. I mean, he put a guy in prison with false evidence, 17 years of this guy's life, and he's probably screaming to the rafters, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me." No one will listen to him.
Not only did he put several people in prison, he willingly and knowingly lied to do so.
Yeah.
And collaborated with the district attorney to do so.
Yeah.
And the district attorney went on to have a storybook career, and he was never brought up on charges.
Yeah.
And this guy is living off of taxpayer dollars every day. So I've put a lot of thought into this. And here's how we rectify this issue in a matter of seconds.
That's right.
We pass a law that says if you lie in a criminal case, if you lie and falsify evidence, now this only goes for government officials or people testifying in a criminal case.
Right.
So if you're a paid informant or a witness in a criminal case or a government official and you lie in a criminal case, and you're proven to be lying, your punishment would be the sentence of the person you just lied on.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
like.
so if it's a death penalty case, you just got yourself a death penalty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that stop you from lying?
It made me think twice. That's for sure.
I wouldn't lie.
No, I wouldn't lie.
Well, see, I wouldn't lie on a case anyway. I've testified in hundreds of cases.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't, I could not force myself to lie on the stand.
Yeah.
I couldn't force myself to lie. I tell my clients every day, Vinnie, I tell them every day, they go, how do I know you're not lying to me? I say, well, here's how you know. Call me in a week, tomorrow, next month, next year, and I'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if I'm lying to you, I can't remember. I talked to too many people. I can't remember what I told you.
Yeah.
Come and look at my desk. I've got thousands of notes on my desk.
Yeah.
I can't put my note with your name.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you. I'm not going to lie to you because I can't remember what lie I told.
Yeah.
So if I tell you the truth today, tomorrow that truth doesn't change.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's just easier for me to tell you the truth.
Exactly. Easiest to remember.
Yep. And by the way, I was taught to tell the truth anyway, and I have a very guilty conscience. So I just couldn't. I'm not going to lie and look over my shoulder the rest of my life, wondering if that lie is going to bite me in the butt.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it. Just can't.
Plus, if you lie or you're caught in a lie, well, if you're caught in a lie and people know that you're lying, it's something that never ever goes away.
It never goes away. But
people are like, oh God, that guy, he's a bullshitter. The guy's a liar.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be poor, you could have bad taste, you could be a shitty dresser, your hair could smell. But if you lie, that's something that people is like, oh God, stay away from that guy. He's a liar.
But here's the other thing, Vinnie.
Yeah.
If I lie on you and cause you damage,
yeah,
that's not justified.
Yeah.
I have to live with that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to live with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if I tell the truth and it causes you damage, well, then that's on you.
This episode is brought to you by Simple Funding, LLC. For all of your pre-settlement funding needs, contact Simple Funding, LLC to receive your money promptly. They're a customer-centric legal funding company that provides exceptional funding solutions at affordable rates. Simple Funding covers a diverse range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, worker compensation, medical malpractice, wrongful death, and more. They recognize that life goes on and you need to access your funds immediately, which is why they offer clients a swift and efficient process with minimal documentation requirements. For more information, visit simplefundingllc.com or contact them directly at 678-855-6232.
But I don't want to lie on you.
Yeah.
And then cause you 20 years in prison and me live with that. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't want that on my conscience.
Same here.
So there's another case that they did a TV show, and it's called.
Can I say one thing real quick?
I mean, you can say you can say two things.
Okay. Well, this might wind up being two things, but it's one thought that I have, and that is for you listening right now. If you're a longtime listener to the podcast, you know that Lynn and I discuss injustices and corruption, and how prevalent it is in the justice system. But here's I guess it's not something I want to say, but I want to rather reassure people. And I'll just ask you, Lynn. I mean, do you think if you had to put a percentage on corruption versus the good people in the system, what would you think it would be? Because I don't want to discourage people, because I hear things like this, like there's a blood spatter expert that's lying on people, and he got people put in prison because of those lies. People are going to get really miffed with our justice system and be like, well, what hope do I have? I mean, I know sometimes I'm like that. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to go into the system because, it's all corrupt and it's all, bad things are going to happen. But what would you say the percentage is, Lynn? What would you say?
Vinny,
is it as depressing as we think?
You're not going to want to hear this.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh God.
You've heard people say surgeons want to operate.
Yeah.
Well, prosecutors want to win.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, because prosecutors, if you bring a case in front of a prosecutor, they want to win. They don't care if you're innocent or not. They just want to win.
Yeah, because that advances their career.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want your careir to advance? Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense, buddy.
Prosecutors, they want to prosecute. That's why do they have that job? Because they want to prosecute. They don't care if you're innocent or not. They don't care about the facts. They just want to win. They just want to win. That's all they just want to win.
Yeah.
If they really cared about the facts, there'd be a million cases that would never go to court.
Right. It's kind of depressing, but you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense.
On
the same token, defense attorneys, if they're trying to get somebody off who's guilty, they just want to win.
It's same thing. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna talk shit too.
Well, defense attorneys win cases on technicalities sometimes.
Right.
But a defense attorney, that's their job.
Exactly.
Is to win cases on whatever means necessary.
Yeah.
So if they win it on a technicality, or if they win it on facts, or whatever the situation may be, I mean, there's a billion scenarios that could come out to be a winner. If let's say that you're innocent and you didn't commit the crime that you're accused of. Let's say that you're accused of robbing a bank and you didn't rob the bank. Let's say that you was in a different state when the bank was robbed. But your attorney comes to you and says, Vinnie, I've got it negotiated down to jaywalking. And you have to do 50 hours of community service and pay a $500 fine. Or you can go to court and take your chance in front of a jury. What are you going to do?
Well, what am I facing if I'm found guilty in front of the jury?
Life in prison.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm going to take the jaywalking charge. Unless I know that there's indisputable evidence, that's going to save me, which I would hope there would be.
Yeah, but you got one juror on there that hates your comedy with a passion.
Now, who would hate my comedy?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, man. See, that's scary. That's scary.
What are you going to do? Are you going to take your chance? Are you going to gamble with your life?
How old are my kids at this point?
At the ages they are right now.
Nah, I'll take the jaywalking charge. Take the jaywalking charge.
Now, the prosecutor knows. He knows. He's got video of you in Hawaii.
Yeah.
He's got video of you in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But this is the evidence that they've got.
Yeah.
This is the deal that they're going to give you.
Yeah, it's scary.
So what are you going to do?
I'm taking the jaywalking charge.
But why won't they drop the charges?
Because the prosecutor wants to win.
because the prosecutor wants a win.
Yeah.
Yep. Even though he knows you're innocent because he's got the video.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But he says, Vinnie, take your chances because I'm going to convince the jury that that's not that video of you in Hawaii. Take your chances.
Yeah. He wants to get ahead. He wants his career to advance. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary, man. Scary.
Yeah.
Walk the line, ladies and gentlemen. Walk the line.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do not, what is it? Poke the beast.
So here's why Vinnie decided not to here's why Vinnie decided to take the plea.
The plea, yeah.
Because he had a red hat on. You couldn't really see what was on the red hat. But the prosecutor said to Vinnie, or to Vinnie's attorney, I'm going to convince the jury that that's a mega hat.
Oh, right. Yeah. 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 And he's going to get MAGA hating people.
That's right.
Right. On that jury.
Just one of them. I just need one.
Just need one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that one person is going to make the rest of them sit there in that jury room long enough that they're going to get tired of sitting there and they're going to change their mind from innocent to guilt
And
just to go home.
That happens.
Yeah. Because Vinnie spending the rest of his life in prison is better than me sitting in that jury room another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens, doesn't it?
Every day.
That happens. A lone juror who's got nothing else to do will sit there and go, no, I'm sorry. Nope. Let's vote again. And then finally, one by one, the rest of those jurors will throw up their hands and say, I just want to get out of here. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. Just let him spend the rest of his life in prison. I want to go home.
Yeah. That is sad, man. That's a huge flaw in our system.
Yep. Even though that video was you in Hawaii, not in Georgia, that video was with you in Hawaii. The prosecutor's going to
with an orange hat. The hat was orange.
Yeah, but the prosecutor's going to convince the juror that it was a mega hat, and all it takes is one.
Right.
And you're in Fulton County, baby.
Yeah.
All it's going to take is one.
Yep. That's scary. That's depressing.
Yep.
Yep.
And don't tell me it doesn't happen.
Oh, I guarantee it happens. I guarantee it. Like the few times that I was called for jury duty, I never got it for whatever reason it was. But one of the things they always ask you is, like I remember one. It was a gang member. It was a gang member who'd shot another gang member, and the gang member that shot the other gang member, the one on trial, was Mexican. And one of the questions that the prosecutor was asking the potential jurors was, do you have any prejudice against Mexicans? And the other one was, do you have any prejudice against gang members? Or are you biased against, with hatred towards gang members or whatever? Now, if you want on that jury to convict a gang member and you hate Mexican people, well, I'm sure that happens. Somebody's like, oh, no, not at all. No.
And let me ask you a question. Yeah. Why would you ask a potential juror, are you biased against gang members? Hell yeah, I'm biased against gang members.
Yeah. They commit murder.
Yeah. They make my neighborhood unsafe.
Yeah.
They steal my things.
Yeah.
I'm very biased against gang members.
Yeah.
And if I'm not biased against gang members, then you should not be on that jury because you're just going to let them go.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
you know what, Lynn, that's a very, very good point. That's the prosecutor saying, hey, we know this guy's guilty.
Yeah.
we know this guy's guilty, but will you see past that?
Yeah, yeah,
Will you see
exactly.
past that?
Yeah,
If we could show you that, hey, he's got a daughter and he loves his daughter and he's a very, very doting husband and he gives back to the community. But yeah, okay, he's a member of MS-13 and he kills people. But hey, and he killed this guy, but he's a good guy, you know.
yep,
That's a good point. Why would you ask that if he wasn't guilty?
yep,
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Oh man.
yep,
Yep.
yep. So I watched this.
The safest thing to do is to just not get in trouble. That's just your best bet.
Yeah. Well, I watched this other called Trial by Fire, and it was about this gentleman in the '80s that his house caught on fire, and his 3 daughters died, and he made it out, and they accused him of setting the house on fire, and they brought in these fire experts. And this happened in Texas. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I won't tell you the outcome because I won't spoil it for you. But they brought in this woman tries to help him, and she got the #1 fire expert in America on his side. And here's what he said. He shows a couple things, and he says the fire experts that testified at his trial was wrong. And she asked him. She said, "Well, why did they testify to what they testified to?" They said, "Well, they didn't come in looking for evidence. They come in trying to prove his guilt." The fire experts come in trying to prove his guilt. They didn't come in looking for evidence. They come in trying to prove he was guilty.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, and my wife said, she said, you being a private investigator for 30 years, she says, did you ever go in like that, trying to prove somebody one way or the other? I said, I thought about it for a minute, and I said, yes, in my first few years as an investigator, I did. And I said, then I realized what I was doing. And she goes, well, what do you mean by that? I said, when I was hired by someone, I always took the side of the person that I was working for, and I went in looking for evidence to prove my person one way or the other.
Right.
And I said, after my first 2 or 3 years, I said, I realized what I was doing. And I said, then I learned human behavior. I said, I was lucky enough after the first 3 or 4 years that I'd worked enough cases, and I wouldn't say smart enough, but I learned human behavior because I'd interviewed thousands of people, seemed like thousands of people, probably wasn't thousands, but probably close to 1,000. And you learn when you interview people, you ask somebody a question like, for example, like in my latest interview, I was interviewing a car accident victim, and there was a dispute over who was at fault. And I said, well, I believe person A, and the attorney said, well, why do you believe person A? And I said, because when I was interviewing them, what it was is one person said, well, one person pulled out in front of the other one was the story. And I said, that didn't happen. I said, person A didn't pull out. And they go, why don't you believe that person A pulled out in front of? Because what happened is they said that person A pulled out in front of, and person B hit them from behind. And I said, that's not what happened. And they go, why don't you believe that? And I said, because person A did not pull out from the side street. I said, person B is lying to you when they said person A pulled out. And they said, why don't you believe that? I said, because nobody's ever asked person A where they were coming from. I said, I asked person A where they were coming from. And they said, well, where was person A coming from? And I said, well, person A had just got off work. And I said, if you ask person A where their work address is coming from, where their work address is from, I said, that side street has nothing to do with person A's work address. And I said, I called and verified that person A had just got off work. And I said, person A's work address would be way back down this road, so they would have to be coming straight, not off of the side street. I said, so their story don't make sense coming off of this road, coming off the side street. I said, so it makes sense that they were going straight and person B was following them. I said, that's why I believe person A.
Yeah.
I said, nobody's ever asked person A where they were coming from.
Yeah.
I said, everybody wants to believe person B. And I said, everybody needs to ask the most important question. And they said, what's the most important question? I said, how old is the police officer? They said, oh, he's probably 25, 26. I said, how old is person B? They said, 25, 26.
Yeah.
And I said, is the cop a male or a female? They said, he's a male. I said, person B is a good-looking female.
Oh, boy. There you go.
And I said, person A is a 56-year-old male. So
Case closed.
Case closed.
Yeah.
So the police officer wrote the story to believe the one he wanted to date with.
This episode is brought to you by the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates, voted the best law firm by the American Institute of Trial Lawyers. When life hits you hard with a serious injury, don't let insurance companies hit you harder with lowball offers and endless runaround. You deserve justice. You deserve compensation. You deserve to win. The Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates have a high-powered legal team with a nationwide reach and the highest rating on the National Attorney Rating Service. Trial Magazine calls them one of the most influential law firms in America. They win big. Big results at trial court, appeals court, the state Supreme Court, and are recognized as award-winning litigators of the year. The Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates handle everything so you can heal. Don't face this battle alone. The aftermath of an accident is traumatic enough. Medical bills pile up, pain overwhelms, emotions run high, and that's where they step in to shoulder the legal fight while you focus on what truly matters, your recovery. They are the first law firm to offer a bigger settlement guarantee. If they can't beat the amount of your current settlement with a bigger settlement offer, your legal fees are free. Ready to win your case? Find out in one phone call if you have a case and how much your case is really worth. Call the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates today at 1-888-477-0597 or visit them online at becauseyouwanttowin.com.
So we took the case, and we're going to win the case.
Yeah.
So as the evidence is coming out, matter of fact, there's a school about 3/4 of a mile past the accident scene. So the side road that they're accusing our guy of coming out, there's a school about 1/4 of a mile past that street.
Yeah.
And when school lets out, there's a stop sign there, but when school lets out, they run video. Well, I went and pulled the video.
Oh, yeah.
It shows him coming through the stop sign.
Who? Person B?
Person A.
Oh, person A.
And person B.
Oh, and person B.
So person A comes through the stop sign.
Yeah.
And then person B comes through the stop sign.
Oh, okay.
So it shows that our client, person A, couldn't have come out of the side street.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and that's why you don't investigate something with the intent on proving a certain thing. You just investigate.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So if I would have went into it with the wrong mindset,
Yeah.
I go into it. I quit going into it trying to prove anything. I just go into it looking for evidence.
Yeah. You went into it with, looking for evidence. You didn't go
Yeah.
into it with, well, show me a picture of this chick and this 25-year-old chick. Let's see. Let's get a look at her. Is it worth it to get her off? I'm of course kidding.
So what I do is I go into it, and the first thing I did was I took the police report, and I first of all I interviewed. I couldn't interview client B because that's not our client, and it would have been a conflict of interest.
Yes.
But I interviewed our client, and our client stated that the police officer spent no time with our client, spent all the time with person B, laughing, cutting up, and saying, "Oh, I'll take care of it." And then I said, "Okay, this sounds like your typical police officer flirting with somebody." So what I did was I looked at everything. I went and I pulled the cops. I did an Open Records Act, pulled the cops profile, pulled the cops personnel record, found all of his information, found out that him and the client, the driver that he was flirting with was in 3 years of the same age. Pulled her social media and thought, well, this makes plenty of sense. And then I said, okay, where were you coming from? He said, I was coming from work. And I called his work, got an affidavit from his boss stating that what time he had left work that day, got a copy of his clock out sheet, where that he had clocked out, got all that. And then I went and drove because he told me, he said, I went through this stop sign right by the school. He said, I think there's cameras there. So I went out and I looked, and there was cameras there. So I went, and since it was an accident involved, and I went to the school and asked for the video, and they gave me a copy of the video.
Yeah.
Actually, they didn't give me a copy of the video. What they did is they played the video on the computer, and I videoed it with my phone.
Oh, nice.
And kind of shot that down real quick.
Yeah.
So we turned the video over to internal affairs at the police department.
Oh, shit. Well, I hope this guy got a date out of it at least.
Well, I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
Because she was I come to find out she is a bartender out in this far out county, and she's kind of a snobby little bitch.
Yeah.
So I doubt it. She
was just playing the damsel in distress.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Playing the damsel that I'll date you if you get me out of this.
Yes. Yeah.
And then probably wouldn't have anything to do with him when it was over.
Well, God bless her. Hey, work the power.
Work the power,
lady.
Yeah. So in this trial by fire case, this fire expert out of Texas says that that these investigators, they don't come in looking for evidence. They come in looking to find ways you're guilty, and we're just looking for ways to prove that you're guilty.
Yeah.
They never once considered that he was innocent. Never considered he was innocent. And this happened back in, I think, the late 80s. And as time has went on, they have proven that the science that they used to prove that this guy was guilty was bad science and was not correct. And that now the state of Texas and the officials in the county will not overturn his conviction, but experts have shown that his house caught on fire by a space heater, and he didn't burn his house down.
But he's still in jail?
No, they executed him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have. They could have. I mean, they had every opportunity to stop the execution and had proof that by the time the execution happened, the governor of Texas could have stopped it and didn't.
What a horrific, horrific thing.
Yeah.
This poor guy, his daughters die. He gets convicted for their murder and is executed, and he's innocent.
And here's one of the things that really bothered me about it was they had a jailhouse confession that the guy later recanted because he was paid and he was paid very well for it. And he recanted, and the prosecutor buried it and never brought forth that he lied.
See, something should happen to this prosecutor.
The prosecutor should have to go to the electric chair over it.
For sure.
Yeah, they gave him the needle, but the prosecutor should have to face the needle for withholding that and not letting the parole board know
he committed murder.
He committed murder.
He essentially committed murder.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If they pass a law that says that, first of all, you should never be allowed to pay for a jailhouse confession. Because you tell me one criminal in prison that's not going to, tell me one person that's not going to tell you anything you want to hear for their freedom.
Right.
But they paid for, they let this guy out of jail. They paid for schooling for him. They bought him a truck so that he would go on the stand and lie.
Right.
So he went on the stand and lied. And this guy got the death penalty. And then he recanted it before they gave him the needle. And the prosecutor just buried it. The prosecutor should have to get the death penalty also.
I agree. 100%. He committed murder.
He committed murder.
Yeah.
He knew that he was putting an innocent man to death. And in order not to harm his career, he let it go.
Well, there's a special place in hell for this guy.
So you pass a law that says if you bury any of this stuff, if you pay for a jailhouse confession and you get caught doing
a false jailhouse confession,
the person giving the false jailhouse confession, the person paying for the jailhouse confession, all of you get the death penalty.
Yeah.
If that person, if you are
or life imprisonment or whatever is applicable.
Or whatever is applicable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever sentence that person would have gotten or got, you have to replace their sentence with yourself.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. That would end that.
That would end that.
Yeah.
Because there's no prosecutor going to say, I'm going to go after the death penalty, but I'm going to pay people to lie to get it.
Right.
There's no prosecutor going to do that.
And risk it. Yeah.
No, he's not going to risk it.
Yep.
He's going to go, I'm going to go after the death penalty, but I'm going to do it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, buddy, that would clean up a big aspect of this biz. I tell you that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it'll never be done. You know why? Because the people making the laws are the people enforcing the laws.
Right.
Yeah.
They got too much to lose.
They got too much to lose.
Yep.
Yeah. They're not protecting us, Vinnie.
No, they're not.
No.
They're not. They're just taking our money.
They're just taking our money. Yeah.
They're taking our money and they're screwing us.
Yeah. Because you know as well as I do, if they really cared about the people, they would enact laws that protected the people.
Right.
And to protect the people would be to pass a law that says if you lie on the stand to get a conviction, you get the penalty that person would have or did get.
Yes.
Now that would protect the people.
Yes. Yep.
That would protect the people.
Yep. 100%.
They're
not going to do it. They're not going to do it because, like you said, they got too much to lose.
They got too much to lose.
Yeah. Yep. They got to protect their little nest egg.
If I was a lawmaker, that would be one of the very first laws that I would put forth to have passed in the state that I was representing.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody gets into politics to make that yearly paycheck that they get. No, they don't. They want the money from the lobbyists. They want, the special interest groups. They want to get rich, and all of them do.
Yeah.
All of them do.
Well, it was just like I told you when I was in Sandy Springs in court, and the female judge. I wished I could remember her name. I guess I could go look it up.
Yeah.
The female judge and the police officer that lied. He flat out lied, and I asked the judge to bring him up on perjury charges, and she told me that if I didn't leave her court, that she would bring me up on contempt of court.
Yeah.
For asking the court to do their job and to bring the police officer up on contempt of court. I mean, on perjury for lying in court. I had the video. I had the recording to prove that he lied.
Yeah.
And the judge, instead of doing her job and bringing the police officer up on perjury, they wanted to get me on contempt for trying to force the issue.
Yeah.
It was more important to get me for contempt than him for perjury.
Right. No, they didn't want it to be revealed that there's a bad person in their little group.
Well,
better to get you on something than to admit that, hey, there's a guy working for us that lies.
Well, I think it would be better to say, Vinnie, that I'm not going to bring my buddy up on perjury charges.
Same shit.
Yeah. And for you guys that are new to the podcast, you can go back and listen to Corrupt Judge. That's the case we're referring to.
Yeah. Good episode.
Yeah. That's the case that we're referring to.
Yeah. Well, this was another good one, buddy. A lot of lessons learned. A lot of the same old stuff about this corruption that's just sickening. Anyway, it was a good time, buddy. Hey, if you need a laugh after this episode, check me out online. If you like stand-up comedy and goofy videos, my website is vinnie.com, www.vinnie.com. All the links to all my social media is there. If you are looking for someone, if you need to surveil someone, if you need to serve somebody with some papers, Lynn Lambdin is the best, ladies and gentlemen. Tell them your website.
www.lwias.com. www.lwias.com.
And thank you, Simple Funding and the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates for sponsoring this episode. Check them out. If you need their services, let them know you heard about them right here on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.